So I wanted to make this video. If you're renting, if you're thinking about buying, to tell the difference, or at least one of the differences between renting and buying. So if you know me, like last year, um, went through some stuff and ended up getting into a duplex. I'm gonna try not to mention their name because in the end they did the right thing. So I don't want to blast them too hard. But if you know, you know. So it's a prominent eye doctor in Livingston. That's where I got my glasses. Where I always got my eye exams. Recommending people to go there. They own probably 30 rent houses, and I don't know the exact number, but I know there's like 10 units of duplexes, and certain probably at least 30 separate residences where they collect rent at. If the average price of rent is $1,000, then they're making $30,000 a month just on rent. So, and these are just estimates. Don't quote me on it. Put in my application. The lady that helped me pick out frames and everything was like, "Oh yeah, I saw your name on the application. Of course you're gonna be approved. We know you. We like you. Cool." Um, Within the first week, I'm still moving in, and my little duplex had a carport. Under that carport was my truck and several totes just with stuff. I'm moved out of a 4-bedroom house with a storage shed and into a 2-bedroom duplex with nothing, no storage. So, and then I didn't even take everything. I walked away from a lot of it. But anyway, um, so I have a maintenance man come pounding on my door, knocking like the police, and it's like, I know what the police sound like. I've done it. And he wants to start hollering and you're gonna get evicted already, and you can't do this. You can't have nothing under the carport. And it's like, well, one, correct your tone. Two, nobody's told me anything. Oh, she's texted you. I've seen the text, and I pull up where I got no text from her about anything but moving in. So it's like, no, I haven't. And then show me on the lease. I went and got the lease. And while I was in there, he called her, which I was told that they were husband and wife. I'm not sure. I don't know. And he's like, apparently the guy that used to live in one of the units, his name was Brandon, and she got the numbers mixed up. So she's been texting the next tenant about not having storage stuff under here. So I go get the lease, and we're like, show me in the lease where I can't store stuff under my carport. I understand you want to look nice and neat and everything, and they're nice, those big totes with wheels from Walmart that you can't see in. It was just there, with tools and everything else. And it's like, well, if you see a red dually drive by, he's going to see it and he's going to be pissed off. It's like, then I suggest he puts it in his lease if you don't want people storing stuff out here. Because right now, I'm not doing anything wrong. All right. Fast forward. Last year, it was around that time in May where the city was flooded. Everything went underwater. Lights went off for a little bit, flickered. And, well, when that happened, the refrigerator, that's their fridge that came with the duplex, it wasn't cooling right. The fan never turned back on. And I told him that. And I tried defrosting. I tried updating the temperature, which was on their lease. Don't adjust the temperature on the fridge or the water heater. That's in their lease. Because it was over the weekend, so I tried a couple of different things. Nothing was working. Maintenance man comes back and says that, oh, it's too full. And I look at him really, man? And it's less than half full. If you stacked up everything nice and neat, it's less than half full. I'm gonna put a picture in here because I took that. And they didn't have any spare fridges because everything just got flooded. Their warehouse just got flooded. So, well, he has another fridge here. Well, yeah, that's my fridge, and it's full of stuff too. So what do you want me to do? Oh, you just have to unplug it for 48 hours and call me back. Wow, cool. So it happened to be an LG fridge. I called LG. It happened to still be under warranty. I have no idea when they bought it, where they bought it, how much they bought. I have no idea. Gave them the serial number. It's still under warranty. I told them what was going on. It's probably just a fan. It goes out all the time. So we're going to ship one there, and then we'll have somebody come out and fix it. It's cool. Cool. And they did. And they fixed it for free. And I let them know that. Saved them, you know, cost of a new fridge or having it repaired or whatever. Um, the lease also said that they'd come in and once a month and change the air filters and do an inspection. Well, they came in probably every 3 months. I have to go back through the text, but I tried to put them on here because she always gave a heads up, like, hey, maintenance will be there Friday to change the air filter out. And then one time they sent a little girl that like had no idea how to do it. And the first time the maintenance guy comes out and it's like, well, this one has a different filter, so we'll be back. It's like, how do you not know that? But anyway, so fast forward, I lived there like 15 months, kept the house clean, even with two kids. We kept the house clean. You could come by at any time, and I wouldn't. It would be clean. Maybe lived in, toys on the floor, stuff like that during the day, but it was clean. Fast forward, give her my 30-day notice. Like, hey, is 25 days close enough for your 30-day notice? And it's like, no, but we can prorate the other 5 days. Like, okay, whatever. So pack everything up, get out, come back. The house is completely empty, and we get to cleaning. I get to cleaning. And, the spring cleaning, kind of like I shampooed the carpets, I made sure the walls were wiped down, everything was clean. So it's like, all right, I'm out. I'll get back with you about the deposit check. About a week goes by, and it's like, hey, how does this work? Because I don't know. Like we'll mail you the check out within 30 days. It's like, okay. Don't make a whole lot of sense, but like, you're in town, I'm in town, but okay, this is my forwarding address. 36 days later, I get it. And um, they charge me $300 for cleaning as a cleaning fee, and it's like, it don't make sense. $150 for two mini blinds. That, yes, my kids did mess up, and I told them that, and it's like, hey, where do you get your blinds from? They need to be replaced. There's two of them that need to be replaced that the kids messed up. It's like, oh, we get them from a warehouse, so don't worry about it. Cool, okay. One piece of touch-up paint where one of the kitchen chairs, the kids like scraped the wall, like where the paint off the chair came off more than anything. But that was it. Move in ready. They charged me $150 for the blinds, $300 for the cleaning, $25 to replace the at least 20-year-old. It's probably original, and those were built in the 70s or 80s. The screen door handle shattered in like an 8-year-old's hand when she opened it to go outside, fell to pieces. I texted her, let her know, like, hey, this happens, no big deal. We can still get in and out, and like, it's not a rush, but just want to let you know. Because per lease, I'm supposed to let her know. Okay, cool. $25 to replace the handle that just from age of use is deteriorated to the point that an 8-year-old girl was able to shatter it in pieces that it shouldn't have been able to shatter it. And it wasn't like push up, like it was literally just using it normally. Then, yeah, that was it. 300, 150. I feel like there's another. Got it right. And I'm gonna put these on here too, so you know. Oh yeah, and $150 for touch-up paint. Just that one little piece. So yeah, they took that, like, And it's, the rent was $875 for a 2-bedroom. It's small, but it worked. It was good enough for us, temporarily anyway, because I knew I was fixing to have to pay lawyers and all of that stuff. So I just needed something cheap, quick. And so I text her when I get this letter back and this check for $250, not $875, $250. And I text her like, I think there's something wrong, like, why? And she's like, well, I just charge you what the cleaning lady charged you, or charged me, and this and that. And it's like, and then the conversation kind of stopped. She said, well, I'll get with the boss and let you know. The next morning, I went to their eye doctor business, and like, she was shocked to see me. It's like, well, you kind of stopped replying to me, but we need to discuss something. And so we kind of went to a private area. I asked her if we wanted to be like at the front counter or anything, or somewhere else we can talk. So we went over where all the frames and stuff are, and we talked, and she showed me pictures of, let's see, the lady said that the ceiling fans were filthy. Well, this is where CYA comes in at, because I took a video as I was leaving, as I mopped the wet floor behind me. The mop was the last thing I carried out. And ceiling fans were filthy, and the walls were grimy, and then she went back and got a folder that had pictures, and she showed me where the stove and the fridge had been pulled out, and there's like toys and stuff under it, like magnets, like it had letters on the fridge. That way the kids could play with them, and I could write messages and stuff. But some of those were under the fridge, and it's like, yeah, that's his magnet. Yeah, no, that's their stuff. Since when are tenants required to pull out appliances, though? And then the normal wear and tear on the touch-up paint. That's normal wear and tear, which legally you can't charge for that. The mini blinds I could probably push, but she just flat out refused. So, okay, cool. Here's the demand letter, and you got 10 days. So, and I highlighted where it said shall refund. Landlords have 30 days, and they pretty much allowed that if they have it postmarked within 30 days, they're okay. But anything after that, it's just presumed that they're acting in bad faith. And tenants, if you take them to court, are owed like $100 plus 3 times the amount that they were shafted out of, plus attorney fees. So, cool. Waited 10 days. Like, hey, what are we doing? Nah, we sent you what we believe that you should have. Cool. So then I did it the appropriate way. I had to send a registered letter to the owner of the company, which they do business as the rental company LLC, but it's actually owned by a whole nother LLC, and the board members are the doctor and his wife. So, and it has to be addressed to them to be like legal. Cool. So I did that. $12 later, and about like on the 9th day or 10th day, they's like, hey, I got the letter. I put the letter out in the mail, and they took off the cleaning charges and the touch-up paint, but they're still $75 each per mini blind, parts and labor. $75 for one mini blind, $150 for 2. Ridiculous. And the door handle replacement. Cool. Still, no, they're charging me to replace their 20-year-old door handle.
If it would have been reported when you lived there, and we
did. It costs that much to even go to court, and then the time and everything. So I told her, like, man, I really wish it didn't come to this. It shouldn't have come to this. Like, I was a good tenant, didn't tear nothing up, didn't destroy the place. Normal wear and tear for any house. It is what it is. I was a patient / customer at the eye place. Like, I referred business. and over $875 worth of deposit, they decided to throw all that away. And at this point, over $175. $175. They're going to stand their ground and say, you know what? Nope. Don't matter how much you business you give and how good a tenant. No, $175. So it's like, you know what? Cool. I wasn't going to, but I felt like I had to make this video. And if you buy a house, you don't have to do that. You don't have to deal with that. You know, everything in real estate's negotiable. Asking price is just that, asking price. You don't have cash to close. Cool, we can write the contract so that it's covered in the contract. I've had numerous clients get a check for buying a house. Like, there's ways of doing it. The only thing you need is a halfway decent credit score. That's it. And we can get you in a house. And because of choices that my ex has made, my credit won't be good for some time now. So, but when the time comes, yeah, you don't have to have $20,000 to buy a house. You don't have to have perfect credit. You just don't. You just find something that's in your price range and you make it yours. But I wanted to give this PSA video out just to, because it's sad, you know. You're making $30,000 a month and you're going to mess with one tenant that you've known for 20 years that was a good tenant. You're going to mess with him about his deposit, which is, it's chump change to both of us. You know, don't get me wrong. It's principle, and I've always been about principle. So I'm going to edit the video, make sure y'all see, you know, all the documents and everything. Like, they exist. This is how they folded up the second letter in the fourth. So yeah, everything's negotiable. So if you can not deal with shitty landlords, don't deal with them. Because even when you think everything's great, they're every last dollar they're going to try to screw you out of. So later.